The observatory sat at the highest point of Zenith Academy, a transparent dome that offered an unobstructed view of the night sky. Noah arrived to find Lyra Cora and several other alien students he recognized from his classes. They sat in a circle, on cushions surrounding a small device that projected a three-dimensional map of the galaxy. "Welcome to Star Stories," Lyra said, her silver hair floating gently as she motioned for Noah to join them. "Each week we share tales of our homeworlds." Noah settled onto a cushion between Lyra and Talia, a girl with delicate wings folded against her back. He felt suddenly nervous, realizing he would be expected to share stories about Earth. Miri began describing her home planet, a massive gas giant where her people lived on floating cities in the upper atmosphere. Her forearms moved expressively as she explained how her species had evolved in the high-pressure environment, developing dense muscles and multiple limbs to navigate the powerful wind currents. Then, Cora spoke of her metallic homeworld where beings like her absorbed minerals directly through their skin. The surface constantly shifted as tectonic plates rich with different metals collided, creating natural alloys. Her skin rippled with silver and gold tones as she described the beauty of the liquid metal rivers. One by one, the aliens shared stories of worlds Noah could barely imagine. Planets with 3 suns, worlds covered entirely in ocean moons where life evolved underground. Each tale expanded his understanding of how diverse life could be. Then Lyra turned to him. "Your turn, Noah. Tell us of Earth." Noah took a deep breath. What could he say about Earth that would impress beings who came from such exotic worlds? "Earth is mostly water, like many habitable planets," he began. "But our land masses are varied. We have deserts, forests, mountains, jungles, and frozen regions, all on one world. Our gravity is lower than here, and our atmosphere is rich in nitrogen and oxygen." The alien students listened with interest as Noah described Earth's diverse ecosystems. The concept of thousands of different animal and plant species fascinated them. Most of their worlds had evolved more uniform life. "But what amazes me most about Earth," Noah continued, "is how quickly it changes. Our cities transform completely in just decades. Our technology evolves at rates that surprise even us. Humans are always building, creating, adapting." This caught their attention. Several aliens leaned forward. "Is it true?" asked Bex, a reptilian girl with iridescent scales, "that humans went from primitive flight to space travel in less than 1 century?" "Yes," Noah confirmed. "From our first powered airplane to landing on our moon took only 66 years, Impossible whispered. Someone in the back. Lyra smiled, her violet eyes fixed on Noah. "The Stellari have a prophecy about humans," she said. Her voice took on a rhythmic quality, as if reciting something ancient. "From the third stone of a yellow star will come beings of change. Their minds quick as light, their will strong as gravity. They will reshape the stars with hands that built mountains from sand." Noah shifted uncomfortably. The other aliens were watching him with new interest. He wasn't sure he liked being part of some alien prophecy. It put even more pressure on him to represent humanity. Well, after the Star Stories ended, most students returned to their dormitories, but Lyra asked Noah to stay. She activated the observatory's main telescope, focusing it on a distant section of the galaxy. "My homeworld," she said, pointing to a cluster of stars surrounded by a purple nebula. "The Stellari Confederation, 12 planets united under empathic governance." The telescope image zoomed in, showing beautiful worlds with silver oceans and floating cities connected by shimmering bridges. "It's beautiful," Noah said. "The Stellari were among the first to advocate for human inclusion in the Galactic Federation." Lyra explained, "Many species feared your kind. They saw your rapid advancement as threatening. But we recognized something familiar in humans." "What do you mean?" "Our species began much like yours, struggling on a harsh world. Our evolution was shaped by the need to understand others, to cooperate, to find creative solutions. The galaxy needs that perspective. The established powers have grown comfortable set in ancient ways." Noah was surprised by the political nature of their conversation. He'd been told to avoid galactic politics during his stay. Yet Lyra seemed to be suggesting that humans had allies he wasn't aware of. A shadow fell across them. Vora stood in the observatory doorway, her black scales absorbing the starlight, making her look like a piece of the night sky, filling his head with stellari nonsense. "Vora," said her voice cold, "the human doesn't need your prophecies, Lyra. He needs to understand his species' place in the proper order." Lyra stood, her silver hair coiling defensively. "There is no proper order. Vora, only growth and change. Your people's resistance. To this is why you're losing influence." Vora hissed a sound that made Noah's translator implant crackle. "The Draconian Imperium has maintained order for 10,000 years, while the Stellari play their songs and speak of harmony. We know the humans' true nature. We have studied their history. War, conquest, destruction. This is what comes from uncontrolled advancement." Noah stood, feeling he needed to defend Earth. "Yes, we've had wars, but we've learned from them. Our history isn't perfect." "But spare me," Vora interrupted. "Every primitive species says the same when they first reach the stars. You are children playing with forces beyond your understanding. The Imperium will never allow humans full membership in the Federation. You should be grateful for observer status." With that, she turned and left, her tail lashing behind her. Lyra sighed, her hair settling into a pattern Noah had come to recognize as concern. "Don't mind her. The Draconian Imperium fears any change to the status quo. They have the most to lose if power structures shift." Noah felt a weight on his shoulders. "Is that what I'm doing here? Testing whether humans would disrupt the galactic balance of power?" "Partly," Lyra admitted, but her eyes were kind. "You are also here because some of us believe the galaxy needs human perspective. There are challenges coming that the old ways cannot solve." Before Noah could ask what challenges she meant, the observatory lights dimmed, signaling curfew was approaching. They walked together through the crystal corridors toward their respective dormitories. The next day in combat training class, Teacher Zan, a former military commander from a high-gravity world, announced a tournament. "To test your progress, we will hold combat trials. Each student will demonstrate their species' traditional fighting techniques, followed by adaptation training, where you must defend against unfamiliar attack patterns." Noah groaned inwardly. He had basic training in Earth's mixed martial arts, but nothing that would impress aliens evolved for combat. Some species had natural weapons like claws, venom, or incredible strength. The class formed a circle around the training mat. First, Vora demonstrated draconian fighting techniques. Her movements were blindingly fast, her tail and claws working in perfect coordination as she took down 3 training drones without apparent effort. The class applauded her skill. Several other students demonstrated their species' combat styles. Cora showed how her metallic skin could harden into armor. Bex demonstrated rapid dodging techniques. Talia used her wings to create disorienting air currents. Then it was Lyra's turn. Stellari were not known as warriors, but Lyra moved with surprising grace. Her technique seemed to anticipate her opponent's moves almost before they happened. Her silver hair extended, becoming almost solid at times, deflecting blows. The Stellari fighting style was defensive, redirecting energy rather than meeting force with force. Finally, Noah was called. To the center, he demonstrated basic Earth martial arts, focusing on leverage and momentum to compensate for strength differences. He was acutely aware that he represented all humans in this display. His techniques seemed primitive compared to the aliens, but he executed them with precision. Good Teacher Zan nodded. Now for adaptation trials. You will be paired with someone whose fighting style differs greatly from your own. The objective is not victory, but learning. Noah was paired with Cora, whose metallic skin made her nearly impervious to blunt force. She moved with surprising weight, her dense body structure giving her strikes tremendous power. Remember, Noah, Teacher Zan advised, find the adaptation, study your opponent. Humans are known for this skill. Noah circled Cora, carefully observing. Her movements were powerful but slower than his. Her metallic skin protected her, but seemed less flexible at the joints. As she attacked, Noah dodged, using her momentum against her focusing strikes on the less protected areas. By the end of the session, both were breathing hard, but Noah had held his own. Teacher Zan seemed pleased. Excellent adaptation. Human. The teacher nodded. You compensated for strength difference with observation and targeting. Well done. Noah felt a small surge of pride. He caught Lyra's eye across the room. Her hair was swirling in what he now recognized as approval. But Vora was watching too. Her black eyes narrowed as the class ended. Noah heard his name being called over. The Academy announcement system. His presence was requested in the dean's office immediately. What did you do? Miri asked her. Four Eyes blinking in concern. Nothing that I know of, Noah replied. Feeling suddenly nervous, Lyra touched his arm briefly, her fingers cool against his skin. Be truthful, she said simply. Perhaps this is about the upcoming Federation Summit. Noah nodded and headed toward the administrative section of the Academy, wondering what awaited him there, and if it would change his already complicated life among the stars. The morning alarm buzzed beside Noah's bed in the foreign dormitory of Zenith Academy. He groaned, pulling the strange gel pillow over his head. It had been 3 weeks since his arrival on planet Lumina, and he still wasn't used to the longer days. Noah. Martinez reluctantly got up and looked out his window. The twin suns were rising over the crystal spires of the Academy, casting rainbow patterns across his room. He was the only human in a school of over 500 alien students from across the galaxy. In the bathroom, Noah stared at his reflection. The translator implant behind his ear was healing nicely, but it still felt foreign. His brown eyes and dark curly hair looked so plain compared to the exotic features of his classmates. More terms of this, he reminded himself. Earth needed this alliance. His presence here was more than just education. It was diplomacy. The dormitory halls were already bustling with activity as Noah made his way to the dining hall. Alien girls of various species moved aside, giving him curious glances. Some friendly, some not. Hey human, a voice called out. Noah turned to see Vora, the black-scaled girl who had challenged him in combat class. She was surrounded by her usual group of friends, all daughters of powerful families. You still struggling with basic quantum mechanics? Noah kept walking, ignoring the taunt. He had learned that Vora came from a warrior species that valued strength above all. She saw humans as weak newcomers, undeserving of their place in galactic politics. The dining hall was a massive dome with windows that showed the azure ocean below. Food stations served cuisine from 50 different worlds, catering to wildly different biologies. Noah headed for the Earth food station, a small corner offering synthetic versions of human meals. Someone fell into step beside him. It was Lyra, her silver hair floating gently around her lavender face. Morning, Noah, she said, her violet eyes scanning his expression. You seem tired. The gravity. Here, Noah explained, it's slightly stronger than Earth. After 3 weeks, my muscles still ache every morning. Lyra nodded sympathetically. I heard humans come from a low-gravity world. That explains your impressive jumping ability and physical training. That's one advantage, I guess. Noah smiled as they collected their food. Lyra's meal pulsed with soft bioluminescence while his looked like ordinary eggs and toast. They found a table near the window where several other alien girls were already sitting. Cora, the girl with metallic skin that changed colors with her emotions, waved them over. Her skin currently a friendly gold tone. Noah slid into a seat beside her. Have you finished the dimensional mathematics assignment? Cora asked, her eyes shifting to a worried green. Noah nodded. It took me half the night, but I think I figured it out. Earth mathematics hasn't even theorized the fifth dimension yet. Miri, a 4-armed student from a high-gravity world, leaned forward. That must be fascinating, she said, having to learn concepts your species hasn't discovered. Yet Noah had become something of a curiosity among the more friendly students. His human perspective on advanced topics provided entertainment. Lyra rested her hand near his, her 4 fingers splayed on the table. You adapt quickly, though. That is the human specialty, isn't it? Adaptation. Before Noah could respond, the Academy's alert system chimed, signaling 5 minutes until first class. The students quickly finished their meals and headed to their respective classrooms. Noah's first class was interspecies communication, taught by Professor Elia, a tall, elegant being whose species communicated primarily through color changes in their translucent skin. The professor had to wear a voice synthesizer to teach verbal species, Today we discuss nonverbal communication across species barriers. Professor Ilya announced. Noah, please join me at the front. Noah reluctantly walked to the front of the classroom, aware of 30 pairs of alien eyes watching him. Humans rely heavily on facial expressions to convey emotion. Professor Ilya explained, Noah, would you demonstrate a human smile? Noah smiled, feeling awkward. Notice the lifting of the mouth corners. Professor Ilya pointed. But humans also express emotion through body posture, eye movement, and vocal tone. Noah, show us anger. Noah crossed his arms, frowned, and tensed his shoulders. Now fear. He widened his eyes and hunched slightly. The alien students watched with fascination, taking notes. Some had facial structures completely different from humans. Others had no visible face at all. Professor Ilya continued. Now Lyra will demonstrate stellari, emotional expression. Lyra joined Noah at the front. Her silver hair began to move in different patterns, swirling rapidly for excitement, floating upward for surprise, forming tight coils for concentration. The stellari express emotions through their responsive hair. Professor Ilya explained. And through bioluminescent patterns on their skin. Noah watched as Lyra's skin developed subtle glowing patterns across her cheeks and arms. He hadn't noticed this before. For the rest of the class, students from different species demonstrated their communication methods. Cora showed how her metallic skin changed colors with emotions. Bex demonstrated her species' elaborate hand gestures. Talia explained how the spines on her back conveyed social status. Noah took careful notes. The information wasn't just academically interesting. It was essential for navigation of alien social situations after class. Noah headed to the science lab for his next lesson. As he walked through the crystal corridors, he noticed a group of younger students pointing at him and whispering. He was still a novelty. The science lab was Noah's favorite class. It was taught by Teacher Vex, the insectoid professor, who seemed to appreciate Noah's creative approach to problems. Today we begin our atmospheric adaptation project. Teacher Vex announced, her multiple eyes blinking in sequence. You will work in pairs to design a portable device that allows breathing in 3 different atmospheric conditions. The class began choosing partners. Noah looked around uncertainly. These projects usually determined a significant portion of their grade. Lyra appeared beside him. Partners, she asked, her hair swirling with what Noah now recognized as excitement. Noah smiled with relief. Lyra was one of the top students in class. Definitely. As they began sketching designs, Lyra leaned close. I have been researching Earth science, she whispered. Your species has developed fascinating solutions. Despite technological limitations. Noah raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? Your filtration systems for toxic environments are remarkably efficient, Lyra explained, pulling up diagrams on her datapad. You compensate for technological limits with elegant design. That perspective could help us. Noah had never thought of Earth technology as advanced, but Lyra had a point. Humans had learned to do more, with less as they worked. Noah noticed Vora watching them from across the room, her black diamond scales gleaming under the laboratory lights. She whispered something to her lab partner, who glanced at Noah and snickered. Lyra followed his gaze. Her hair coiled tightly. Ignore them, she said. She comes from a species that dominated their sector through force. They respect only power, but that's not the human way, Noah said. Focusing back on their project. We build connections, not dominance. Lyra's violet eyes widened slightly. That is why you are more interesting, she said softly. The rest of the day passed in a blur of classes, each one challenging Noah's understanding of the universe in new ways. By evening, his brain felt overloaded with information that no human had ever learned before. In his dormitory room, Noah recorded his daily log for Earth officials, describing his experiences for the scientists and diplomats who would analyze every detail. He was more than a student, he was a pioneer, opening the way for future humans in the galactic community. A soft chime indicated a message on his datapad. It was from Lyra, inviting him to join a small group in the observatory that evening for what she called Star Stories. Noah accepted the invitation. Curious about this new aspect of academy life, Despite the challenges, he was slowly finding his place among the stars. The Federation capital planet Nexus orbited a binary star system. Its surface was a carefully engineered landscape that accommodated species from thousands of worlds. The diplomatic vessel descended through layered atmospheric shields designed to create comfortable conditions for vastly different biologies. Noah pressed his face to the viewport, watching as they passed massive floating structures interconnected by transport beams. Below, gleaming cities spread across carefully terraformed continents. "It's beautiful," he whispered. The Federation began as a treaty between 5 species 15,000 years ago, Lyra explained. Now it encompasses over 400 full members and almost 1,000 observer states like Earth. The vessel docked at a massive space station that served as the entry point for all visitors to Nexus. Noah, Lyra, and Talia followed the other Academy representatives through customs. Their credentials were scanned, and they were assigned accommodations in the Youth Summit Complex. The human delegate and official greeted Noah. His species had 4 arms and skin that shifted through rainbow colors. "Your quarters have been adapted for Earth standard conditions. Ambassador Chen sends her regards." Noah nodded. Ambassador Chen was Earth's official representative to the Federation. He had never met her but knew she had arranged his exchange program at Zenith Academy. A transport took them to the Youth Summit Complex, a collection of crystalline structures surrounding a central dome. Each building represented architectural elements from different member species, creating a harmonious blend of galactic styles. The human section was small compared to the established species, but Noah was surprised to find it staffed with actual humans. 4 Earth scientists were already there preparing for the summit. Noah Martinez, one of them, greeted him, a woman with dark hair and a friendly smile. "I'm Dr. Laura Wilson, head of Earth's youth delegation. We're so glad you're here," Noah introduced Lyra and Talia. The Earth scientists seemed particularly interested in Lyra. "The Stellari have been our strongest advocates," Dr. Wilson said. "Thank you for assisting our student." Lyra bowed her head slightly. "It is in the galaxy's interest that humans join fully." When the time is right, Dr. Wilson showed them the presentation space where Noah would showcase his research on environmental restoration. Several other humans were setting up demonstrations of Earth culture, art, and science. "Will I be the only human student?" Noah asked. Dr. Wilson nodded. "The other Earth representatives are from specialized training programs. None have had the immersive experience you've gained at Zenith. That's why you'll lead our primary presentation." And she hesitated. "Why you've been selected for the trial, so it's official," Noah said. Dr. Wilson looked uncomfortable. "Yes, the Draconian delegation formally requested it. It's unusual for an observer species to be subjected to the trial, but the Federation Council approved it." Ambassador Chen protested but was overruled. "And what exactly will happen?" Noah asked. "The trial uses psychoreactive technology to create scenarios that test your responses," Dr. Wilson explained. "You will experience simulated situations designed to reveal your core motivations and, by extension, humanity's potential behavior as a spacefaring species." "It sounds invasive," it is, Dr. Wilson admitted. "But refusing would be seen as having something to hide. The results will influence Earth's path to full membership." That evening, Noah and his team attended the summit welcome ceremony. The grand hall was filled with representatives from hundreds of species. Some appeared almost human, while others were utterly alien forms of crystalline energy, floating gas clouds or hive organisms moving in perfect synchronization. The Federation First Minister, a tall being with luminous skin, addressed the gathering. "The Youth Summit represents our shared future. Through understanding, we find unity. Through diversity, we find strength. The young delegates here will one day guide their species in galactic cooperation." Noah stood with the Earth delegation, aware of curious glances from alien representatives. Some seemed friendly, others wary. He spotted Vora. With the Draconian delegation, her black scales distinctive among her kind. She nodded slightly, her expression unreadable. "The trial of intent will be conducted tomorrow morning," the First Minister announced. "For the human representative, Noah Martinez, of Earth. The trial results will be presented at the summit conclusion. Noah felt a ripple of surprise move through the crowd. The public announcement made the trial seem more significant than he had been told. After the ceremony, Noah, Lyra, and Talia joined a reception where delegates mingled. Various species approached Noah, some curious about Earth, others more interested in assessing him personally. You face an important test tomorrow, a crystalline being communicated through Noah's translator. The trial reveals truth even when hidden from oneself. I have nothing to hide. Noah replied. The being chimed softly. We shall see. Lyra stayed close, her empathic abilities helping Noah navigate the complex social dynamics. Several times she subtly guided him away from delegates who seemed hostile. As the evening progressed, Noah found himself speaking with a representative from the archivists, a species dedicated to preserving knowledge. Humans learn quickly, the archivist said, their multiple eyes blinking in sequence. This concerns some species. Your kind went from atmospheric flight to rudimentary space travel in less than a century. Noah nodded. This rapid advancement is part of our nature. We see problems and solve them. We adapt. But do you consider the consequences? The archivist asked. Some technologies require centuries of ethical development before they can be safely wielded. It was a fair point. Noah acknowledged Earth history showed many examples of technology outpacing ethical frameworks. From nuclear weapons to genetic engineering, humans had often created tools before fully understanding their implications. We learn from our mistakes. Noah said, we developed nuclear weapons, then created treaties to control them. We damaged our environment, then developed restoration techniques. We're not perfect, but we grow. The archivist seemed thoughtful. Your trial will be revealing. Later that night, Noah sat in his quarters, unable to sleep. Tomorrow he would represent not just himself, but all of humanity in the trial of intent. The pressure felt enormous. A soft chime indicated someone at his door. It was Lyra, her silver hair moving slowly in concerned patterns. I sensed your anxiety, she said. My species cannot sleep when those nearby feel such strong emotions. Sorry, Noah said, letting her in. I didn't mean to broadcast. Lyra smiled. It's not something you can control. Humans have particularly vivid emotional signatures. It is why the Stellari recognized your potential before other species. They sat together in the small sitting area of Noah's quarters. The trial. Noah began. What should I expect? Lyra hesitated. The technology creates scenarios based on your own mind. It finds your fears, hopes, and unconscious beliefs, then manifests them as challenges. The system monitors your genuine reactions, not just what you say, but what you feel. How do I prepare for that? You don't, Lyra said simply. Be truthfully yourself. The trial doesn't seek perfect beings. It seeks honesty. If you try to deceive it, the scenarios become more invasive, more personal. Noah touched the crystal pendant Vora had given him, still in his pocket. Should I use this? Lyra looked at the crystal, her eyes widening slightly. The Draconians gave you a mind shield. Her hair moved in patterns of surprise. They claim to oppose human advancement yet offer protection. It's complicated, Noah said, explaining his conversations with Vora. Lyra was quiet for a moment, her silver freckles glowing softly in the dim room. The Draconians fear change, but respect strength, she finally said. Vora sees something in you that overcomes her people's caution. Use the crystal, Lyra advised. It won't block the trial, but it will prevent the deepest intrusions. Keep your core self private. After Lyra left, Noah lay awake thinking about the next day. Would the trial reveal something about himself he didn't know? Some hidden capacity for destruction or dominance that would confirm the Federation's fears about humanity. Morning arrived too quickly. Noah dressed in his formal Earth uniform, a simple blue design with the United Earth emblem he wore. Vora's crystal pendant beneath his collar where it rested cool against his skin. Dr. Wilson escorted him to the trial chamber, a circular room with walls of shifting light. At its center stood a single chair surrounded by technology Noah didn't recognize. The trial administrators, 4 beings from different species, nodded as he entered. Noah Martinez of Earth 1 began. This trial will present you with scenarios, drawn from your own consciousness. Your responses will be monitored and recorded. You may end the trial at any time, but doing so will result in an incomplete assessment. Do you consent? Noah took a deep breath. I consent. The room darkened as Noah sat in the chair. The air shimmered around him and he felt a strange pressure in his mind. Images began to form. He was on Earth in a laboratory. Scientists were showing him a new technology, faster than light travel, the key to humanity's expansion among the stars. They wanted his approval as Earth's representative to the Federation. Should we proceed immediately or wait for Federation oversight? A scientist asked. Noah considered, what were the implications of humans developing this technology independently? Would it alarm the Federation? Would waiting slow Earth's progress? We should develop the technology, but in collaboration with Federation scientists. Noah decided that demonstrates our commitment to cooperation while advancing our capabilities. The scene shifted. Noah stood on a battlefield. Humans fought against an alien species he didn't recognize. Both sides used advanced weapons. Destruction surrounded him. The summit presentations began the following day. The grand auditorium filled with delegates from across the galaxy. Noah and his team prepared in a small room backstage, finalizing their demonstration on Earth's environmental restoration technology. Dr. Wilson joined them, looking impressed by their work. The presentation combines Earth's restoration techniques with advanced materials from Talia's world and monitoring systems from the Stellari. She noted, perfect example of collaborative potential. In 1 hour, the Earth delegation would take the stage. The trial results would not be revealed until the summit conclusion. So Noah forced himself to focus on their presentation. Talia adjusted her wings nervously. Do you think the trial went well? She asked. Noah shrugged. The crystal pendant still hung around his neck, a reminder of unexpected alliance. I was honest. That's all I could be. Lyra checked the presentation systems. Her silver hair moved in patterns that Noah now recognized as determination. You represented humanity well, she said. That is what matters, regardless of how some may interpret it. When their turn came, Noah led his team onto the stage. Hundreds of delegates watched from the auditorium, while thousands more viewed through galactic broadcasts. The pressure was immense, but Noah reminded himself of his purpose. He wasn't just a student now. He was Earth's voice-honored delegates. Noah began. Earth may be new to the galactic community, but we bring unique perspectives. Our planet faced severe environmental damage during our industrial development. Through necessity, we created restoration technologies that might benefit other worlds. The presentation showed Earth's journey from environmental crisis to recovery. Noah explained how humans had developed methods to clean oceans, repair atmospheric damage, and restore biodiversity. Talia demonstrated how these techniques could be enhanced with materials from her world, while Lyra showed monitoring systems that could predict environmental changes. What makes this approach valuable? Noah continued, is its adaptability. These techniques can be modified for diverse planetary conditions. From gas giants to desert worlds, the principles remain applicable. The Federation Science Minister, a being of pure energy contained in a specialized field, approached the stage after their presentation. Your restoration technology is impressive, the minister acknowledged through a translator, but it addresses damage that humans themselves caused. Why should the Federation value solutions to self-created problems? Noah had anticipated this criticism. You're right that we damaged our world before we understood the consequences, but that experience taught us something valuable. The relationship between technology and responsibility. Every advancing species faces this challenge. Earth's path shows both the mistakes and the solutions. The minister seemed thoughtful. Your perspective has merit. Questions continued from various delegates. Some were genuinely curious about the technology, others seemed more interested in testing Noah's diplomatic skills. Each question probed not just the science but humanity's readiness for greater galactic involvement. As the session ended, Noah felt cautiously optimistic. They had presented Earth in a positive light, demonstrating both technological capability and ethical awareness. That evening, a reception was held for all youth delegates. Noah mingled with representatives from dozens of species. Many approached him with questions about Earth. Others shared information about their own worlds. Despite the political tension surrounding humanity's status, these personal connections felt meaningful. Vora found him near the crystalline refreshment station. Her black scales seemed to absorb the ambient light. "Your presentation was effective," she said. "Human ingenuity applied to healing rather than conquest. A wise choice." "Thank you," Noah replied. "And thank you for the crystal. It helped during the trial." Vora nodded slightly. "The Draconians value order above all else," she explained. "We fear changes that might disrupt galactic stability." But she hesitated. "We also recognize that stagnation leads to decline. The oldest empires fell because they could not adapt." "That an official Draconian position?" Noah asked, surprised by her candor. Vora made a gesture his translator interpreted as ironic amusement. "I represent a younger perspective within my species. The Imperium is beginning to recognize that opposing human advancement is futile. Better to guide it toward responsible integration." Before Noah could respond, a commotion near the reception entrance caught their attention. A delegation of myriad observers had arrived. The species that had once destroyed 3-star systems before being contained. Their presence was rare at Federation events. The myriad physically resembled tall humanoids with skin that shifted like quicksilver. Their eyes held swirling galaxies of color. Noah had read about them but never expected to see them. 90% of their species remained in supervised isolation. Only a small number were permitted to observe Federation proceedings. "See how they are watched," Vora whispered. "Federation security surrounds them. Even now, 2,000 years after their containment, this is what some fear humanity might become." The lead myriad moved through the reception delegates, parting before them. When their swirling eyes fell on Noah, they changed course, approaching directly the human representative. The myriad spoke, their voice creating strange harmonics in Noah's translator. "We observe your trial with interest. You face the same prejudice our ancestors once faced." Noah felt suddenly cold, aware that every nearby delegate was watching this interaction. The myriad rarely addressed anyone directly, especially not representatives of emerging species. "Our paths are not the same," Noah said carefully. "My species seeks integration, not isolation." The myriad made a sound like crystal chimes. "We too sought knowledge, connection, advancement. The Federation feared our potential as they fear yours. They restricted us until desperation led to destruction. Now they use our example to control other rising species. Like yours, security officers moved closer. But the myriad ignored them. Consider carefully human," they continued. "The trial of intent reveals not only your nature but the Federation's. They seek assurance that you will accept limitation, that you will develop only as they permit." With that cryptic warning, the myriad delegation moved away, leaving Noah unsettled. Vora had disappeared during the exchange. Lyra quickly appeared at his side, her hair moving in agitated patterns. "What did they say to you?" she asked, her voice concerned. Noah explained the strange conversation. Lyra looked troubled. "The myriad rarely interact. They must see something significant in humanity's position." The next morning brought the final day of the summit. The trial results would be announced, followed by the Council's preliminary decision regarding Earth's path toward potential membership. Noah felt the weight of responsibility. His performance in both the trial and presentation would influence humanity's future. The Grand Chamber was filled to capacity as Noah took his place. With the Earth delegation, the Federation First Minister approached the central podium. "Before we present the trial results," the minister began, "I must acknowledge an irregularity in the proceedings." Her luminous eyes found Noah in the crowd. "We detected interference in the trial of intent. A mind-shielding device was used by the human representative." Murmurs spread through the chamber. Noah touched the crystal pendant beneath his uniform, feeling suddenly exposed. Such devices are not explicitly forbidden. The minister continued as they are unknown to most emerging species. However, their use raises questions about transparency. Noah stood his heart pounding. Permission to address the council. The minister nodded. I did use a mind shield device, Noah admitted. I was informed that the trial would assess my responses to scenarios, not invade my deepest private thoughts. The crystal was given to me by a draconian student. He looked directly at the draconian delegation, who seemed as surprised as everyone. Else it protected my core self, while still allowing honest responses to the scenarios. The chamber erupted in discussion. The first minister raised her hands for silence. The draconian Imperium provided this technology to a human. The minister asked. Noah nodded. It was a personal gesture from one student to another, not an official action. The draconian ambassador rose. I know nothing of this, but if true, it represents unauthorized action by a junior member of our delegation. Noah could see Vora sitting rigidly among the draconian representatives. Her expression revealed nothing, but Noah understood the risk she had taken. The first minister considered this development. Regardless of how the human obtained this technology, the trial results show clear patterns. The scenarios assessed multiple response pathways. The human demonstrated consistent values: cooperation over domination, mutual benefit over selfish advantage, responsibility with advancement. The chamber quieted as holographic displays showed. Analysis of Noah's trial responses. The council has deliberated, the minister continued. While the use of shielding technology is concerning, the human representative demonstrated principles aligned with Federation values. The Earth delegation has also presented technologies focused on restoration rather than expansion. Noah held his breath. Therefore, the council recommends advancing Earth status from observer to provisional member. The minister announced, this grants increased access to Federation knowledge and limited voting rights. Full membership will require continued demonstration of responsible advancement. The Earth delegation erupted in celebration. Ambassador Chen shook Noah's hand, her eyes bright with pride. Dr. Wilson and the other scientists cheered. This was more than they had hoped for. Provisional membership would accelerate Earth's development by decades. The dean's office was located in the central spire of Zenith Academy. Noah entered a circular room with walls that seemed to shift between transparency and opacity. The ceiling displayed a real-time map of nearby star systems. Dean Thala rose from behind a floating desk. Her species had evolved on a water world, giving her a fluid grace even on land. Her skin shimmered with patterns that Noah had learned were both communication and a sign of her elevated status. Noah Martinez, she said, her voice melodic. Please sit. Noah sat in a chair that adjusted to his human physiology. He tried to appear calm, though his heart raced. He had been careful to follow all Academy rules. I have received a communication from Earth. Diplomatic Corps. Dean Thala began. The annual Federation Youth Summit is approaching. Each member species sends student representatives to present research and participate in cultural exchange. As Earth's only student at Zenith, you have been selected to represent humanity. Noah blinked. In surprise, the Federation Youth Summit. He had heard other students mention it, a prestigious event held on the Federation capital world, but I'm still learning about galactic culture. Noah protested. I don't know if I'm prepared to represent all of humanity. Dean Thala made a gesture that his translator interpreted as, understanding Earth has observer status only, so your role will be limited. But this is an important opportunity to showcase human potential. The summit includes research presentation, cultural demonstration, and problem-solving challenges. Noah nodded slowly. The responsibility felt enormous, but he couldn't refuse. You will be permitted to select 2 Academy classmates to assist your presentation. Dean Thala continued. Choose wisely. This is both diplomatic opportunity and academic assessment. 2 hours later, Noah sat in the Academy library surrounded by information about the summit. It was bigger than he had imagined. Representatives from over 200 species would attend. The event would be broadcast across the Federation. Noah Martinez, the human representative. A voice interrupted his thoughts. He looked up to see Vora standing over him, her black scales absorbing the library lights. "What do you want?" Vora, the draconian girl, sat across from him, fixing him with her dark eyes. "I wish to volunteer as one of your summit assistants." Noah almost laughed. "Why would you help me? You don't even like humans." Vora leaned forward. "It is precisely because I challenge your species that I would be valuable. The summit judges will ask difficult questions about human history, human conflicts, human ambitions. I can help you prepare for these challenges." Noah considered this. There was logic in her argument. The summit wouldn't be all friendly exchanges. There would be species opposed to increased human involvement in galactic affairs. "Why do you really want to help?" "I thought the Draconian Imperium opposed human membership." Vora blinked slowly. "My personal interest is academic. I study emerging species." And she hesitated. "I respect your performance in combat training." You adapted well before Noah could respond. Lyra appeared at their table, her silver hair moving in patterns that suggested concern Noah. She said, nodding politely, "To Vora, I heard about the summit." "Congratulations, thank you." Noah said, "I need to select 2 assistants for the presentation." Lyra smiled. "I would be honored to help. The Stellari have long supported human integration." Vora made a dismissive sound precisely. "Why your assistants would present a biased view. The human needs objective preparation, not Stellari prophecies and encouragement." Noah looked between them, realizing he was witnessing something beyond simple school rivalry. These two represented opposing, galactic political viewpoints regarding humanity. "I need time to consider," Noah said diplomatically. "I haven't even decided what research to present." Yet after Vora left, Lyra sat beside Noah, her violet eyes serious. "Choose carefully," she said. "This summit is more important than you know. There are forces that wish to restrict human development in the galaxy. The Draconian Imperium leads a coalition that believes rapid advancement should be controlled." This seemed unfair to Noah. Why should humanity be held back? Because the last species that advanced as quickly as humans destroyed 3 star systems before they were stopped. Lyra said quietly, "The Myriad Collective. They developed technology faster than their ethics could mature. The galaxy fears repeating that mistake." Noah felt the weight of history. He hadn't known Earth's future might depend on how well he represented human potential at this summit. "I should present research that shows humans are responsible," Noah said, thinking aloud. "Something that demonstrates we can advance without becoming dangerous." Lyra nodded, her hair forming hopeful patterns. That would be wise over the next week. Noah immersed himself in summit preparation. He reviewed the history of human space development, focusing on international cooperation and ethical frameworks. He studied previous summit presentations, learning what impressed the judges. He selected Lyra as one of his assistants, valuing her political insight and support. For the second assistant he chose neither Vora nor any of his usual friends. Instead, he selected Talia, the winged girl who specialized in environmental sciences. Her expertise would complement his planned presentation on Earth's developing planetary restoration technology. The Academy provided him with advanced communication access to Earth, allowing him to collect research data and consult with scientists. Noah worked through nights, his determination growing as he understood the stakes. This wasn't just about his academic standing. It was about humanity's future. 2 days before the summit, delegates were scheduled to depart for the Federation capital. Noah was working late in the science lab. His project combined Earth environmental restoration techniques with advanced alien technology, demonstrating how human innovation could benefit the galaxy. The laboratory door slid open, and Noah looked up, expecting to see Lyra or Talia. Instead, Vora entered, followed by 3 other Draconian students. "Working hard, human?" Vora asked, her voice neutral. Noah nodded cautiously. "I reviewed the summit archives," she said. "Every presentation from the past 50 years. The judges favor certain approaches, certain technologies." Noah hadn't known Vora was still researching despite not being selected as his assistant. "Why are you helping me?" The draconian girl moved closer, examining his project. I told you I study emerging species. Your project has merit, but the presentation format is wrong. The Federation values tradition over innovation. In these events, she proceeded to offer specific suggestions about protocol and presentation format details. Noah hadn't considered. Her advice was actually helpful. When she finished, Noah asked again, "Why help me if your people oppose human advancement?" Vora was silent for a moment, her scales shifting slightly. "I represent the Draconian Imperium as a student," she finally said. "But I am not blind to change. Humanity will eventually gain full Federation membership. The question is whether you will be allies or problems. The summit may influence this." After she left, Noah considered her words. Vora wasn't necessarily against humans. She was cautious. Her people had maintained galactic stability for millennia. They feared disruption. This perspective helped Noah refine his presentation to address these concerns the day before departure. Noah met Lyra and Talia for final preparations. They would travel on a diplomatic vessel with representatives from other academies. "Our presentation is strong," Talia said, her wings fluttering with excitement. "Human environmental restoration techniques are impressive, particularly how you develop them after damaging your planet. It shows responsibility." Lyra nodded, but her hair moved in patterns Noah had learned indicated concern. "There are rumors," she said. "Some delegations plan to challenge Earth specifically. They will raise questions about human conflicts, nuclear weapons, AI development." Noah had prepared for this Earth. History contained plenty of concerning elements, but it also showed learning and growth. The human representative will face the trial of intent. Lyra continued, "It's rarely used, but several delegations have requested it." "What's that?" Noah asked. Talia looked alarmed. Her wings folded tightly against her. "The trial assesses whether a species harbors expansionist intentions. It's invasive. They use technology to project scenarios and monitor responses. That sounds like a violation of privacy." Noah protested. "It is," Lyra agreed. "But the Federation fears species that advance quickly. The myriad destroyed billions of lives. The trial is meant to assess whether humanity might follow a similar path." Noah felt a chill. The summit was becoming more complicated than he had imagined. Not just a presentation, but a test of human intentions. That evening, Noah received a message from Dean Thala, confirming that he would indeed face the trial of intent. The Dean provided information about the process. It would use psychoreactive technology to create immersive scenarios, testing his responses to various situations. The results would influence the Federation's approach to Earth. Noah barely slept that night. When morning came, he packed his things and met Lyra and Talia at the Academy landing pad. The diplomatic vessel waited sleek and silver against the dawn sky. Other Academy students were already boarding, representing their various species. Some nodded to Noah. Others watched with curiosity or suspicion. As they waited to board, Vora approached. Her scales gleamed in the morning light. Around her neck hung a small pendant, a black crystal that seemed to absorb light. "For the trial," she said, offering the pendant to Noah. "The crystal disrupts emotional scanning. It won't block the trial entirely, but it will help you maintain mental privacy."